Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and today we are going to start another topic called pricing decisions, which is one of the most significant aspect of marketing management, or you can say as a businessman we always look at the pricing of the product, and also as a customer we have keen interest in knowing the price of a product before making a final decision of buying a product. Because we may like a product, we may appreciate a product, but when we look at the price we don't find that quality value equation fulfilling our expectations, and we at times we drop our decision to buy a product. So keeping that in mind, we have planned to have a discussion on the topic of pricing decision. And just to give a mention here that it is the second P in the list of marketing mix. After product we find the price to be the second P of marketing mix. So we have to understand that what do we mean by term pricing and its objective, what are the pricing objectives, the factors which affect this pricing decision of a marketer, what are pricing strategies, and eventually we will talk about different methods of pricing. So as I told you, my dear learners, that when it comes to price of a product, it is of immense importance and keen interest to both the parties, be it marketer or be it customers. Why it is of immense importance for a marketer? Because it is the only activity in the field of marketing which is called as a revenue generating activity. So it is the point from where marketer is going to have his own bread and butter, or you can say the marketer is going to have his own profit, which is very much needed for survival of a business. So price is actually the most important marketing mix in the list of all other contents called product, price, place, promotion. In the list of all other marketing mix, we find that this element of price is most significant one for a marketer, because it is the only revenue generating activity. Rest all activities, they involve some amount of expenditure when it comes to implementing them. And for customers also, since they are going to use their hard earned money for buying a product, they always try to look at the price. So whether it is a real estate property or it is a tube of a toothpaste, while buying it we always try to know that we should get the value for our money. Whatever money we are sacrificing, whatever money we are giving, whatever price we are paying, that must equate with the quality which we are receiving. So what is price? This question comes in front of us. So if we go for a narrow definition of price, I would say price is the amount of money which is being charged by a seller for a particular product or service. So the amount which I am paying for a particular product or service, that is called price. Narrowly we can say that this is the definition of price. But if we go to the broad definition of the price, or in the language of marketing what price means, price is basically the aggregation of all the values which customers are exchanging for the benefits of having or using the product or service. So price is nothing but you are actually exchanging the sum of money for the bundle of utilities. So whatever bundle of utilities I am getting by paying the sum of money, the amount which I am paying, in return to that, in exchange of that, whatever bundle of utilities I am getting, that is called the value which I am getting. So price is basically sum of all the values which customer is exchanging for the benefits of buying or using or having the product or service. So simply speaking, I would say the exchange of goods or services in terms of money. So it is basically the exchange of goods or services in terms of money, and here we can say that if I have to give it an equation, offer an equation to the term price, I would say price is equal to cost plus profit. So whatever cost marketer has incurred in manufacturing that product, when they add their margin to the cost, that becomes the price of a product. So it has two components, cost and profit. So cost is of course there, and the profit is being added, margin is being added to arrive at the price. This is a traditional way of determining the price. But in present day or in 21st century marketing, we cannot decide the price like this. We have to work on this, because the price is something which nowadays we are getting from the market. So there is a customary pricing which is prevailing in the market for a given product, unless the product is a new one. So price is mentioned. So how to maximize the profit? There is only one way to work on that. Price you cannot increase, cost is something on which you have to work, That is the only way, because profit, you cannot charge exorbitant price from your customers, because customers are aware of the customary pricing. So you have to basically, in order to increase your profit, the only way which is left is to reduce your cost, because the price is the constant one and cost is the only point which can be reduced to increase the amount of profit. So now we have gone through the different meanings or definitions of price, starting from narrowly defined definition to broadly, and then simply speaking we call it the exchange of goods or services in terms of money. Now price brings the revenue. As I told you, it is the only component, only element in marketing mix which is a revenue generating activity. So the only element in the marketing mix that brings in the revenues, all the rest are the cost. So price communicates the value positioning of the product. Whatever positioning, value positioning a marketer is willing to do, price becomes a communicator of that. With the price, customers can understand that yes, this is the positioning of a particular product, and when you are keeping your price on a higher side, you have to keep this thing in mind that it must compensate with the best of quality, with the highest of quality. So quality price combination need to be ensured, that need to be kept in mind while deciding the price, that yes, if I am charging the higher price, the quality should also be on the higher side. Now the question comes, what is the pricing objective? The first and the foremost objective is survival. As a marketer, I need revenue, I need some profit to survive. So survival is the first objective for any marketer or every marketer. To be very honest, they have to survive in the market for long run, and for survival they need profit. Any company or any business cannot survive without profit, and profit comes from price of a product, and that is why the first objective is the survival. So decide a price, craft a price, design a price in such a way that it should help you in surviving in the market for long. Without profit you can't survive for long. So no marketer can sell the product at cost or less than the cost. They need some profit on that particular product to survive for long. The second target is also associated or linked with the same one, that is called pricing for target return. At times the manufacturers, they are having a targeted ROI on a particular product, that is return on investment. So the pricing is designed in such a way that you get your desired rate of return, your desired return on investment. So that is called pricing for target return. There are certain instances where marketers are doing pricing based on the target return. So cost is known to us, and then you are adding your desired ROI into that, and simply you get your price. So that can also be an objective of doing the pricing for a marketer. Remember, not every marketer is doing the pricing with the same objective, but yes, there are certain commonalities, there are certain common points where they all of them, they are agreeing that yes, for survival we need profit, and of course without profit no marketer can survive. There can be a target of maximum market share. So while doing the pricing, your objective is not to make maximum profit, but you need to have maximum market share. So for that we have a different pricing strategy that I will be telling you, but just to give you a tacit indication that we call it technically the market penetration policy. You want that your product must be in the hands of each and every customer in that segment. So for that you will be crafting your pricing, your price in such a way, you will be designing your pricing policy in such a way that everybody is able to buy. So that is because of this very objective, that your objective is to have maximum market share, and for that you have gone for market penetration pricing. So your pricing objective plays a very significant role, because that would decide your destination, that would decide the destination. And when I say destination, I am indicating towards the price, the magnitude of price, the quantum of price, the extent of price which you are going to decide in that particular range. Your objective can be to meet or prevent competition. You are being competitive, you have to prevent competition. So you want to eliminate your competitors. So at that time, at that point of time, you may resort to another policy, although elimination of competition is not allowed, as long as you are operating in a country like India where the Competition Act is there. So there has to be a fair competition, but yes, of course, to limit competition, you can resort to a pricing objective. I'll tell you about the different methods keeping in mind these objectives, but right now we are discussing about the different pricing objectives. So some people think that pricing objective is the only objective of pricing is to make profit. Of course, that is wrong. We cannot say that every marketer is having objective of making profit only. Profit is needed, but there are different objectives at different points of time when marketers are doing their pricing. Some marketers are going for having a maximum market share, and for that they resort to a different pricing strategy. Some of them, they talk about the product quality leadership, that I want to position my product, my company as a quality leader in that particular segment for that particular product. So of course the pricing would be decided on that very basis, since you are going to be to assume the quality leadership in that particular segment of a product, then of course your prices would be on the higher side. There can be an objective of profit maximization and resource mobilization. Keeping that in mind, you would decide your price. You want to stabilize price, you want to have a stable price. So for that, your objective is to stabilize price. So keeping that in mind, your pricing method would be designed. You are at times you are going to say that no, I won't decide any specific pricing. My price would be dependent upon the customer's ability to pay. But remember, that cannot be done in case of the products which are being sold in the physical form. It can be done in case of services where discrimination can be possible depending upon the type of customers you are dealing with. But while doing so, you have to keep this in mind that no two customers are meeting together and talking about the price being charged. This can be done where there is a complete a lack of communication among the customers. I can give you an example of doctor's charges. Sometimes you go to a doctor and their fee is prescribed, but at their private clinic, at times there are needy people who come to them and they don't charge any fee, or at times they reduce their fee. So that is called customer's ability to pay. That also becomes the pricing objective in case of the sole trade business, where the service provider is a practicing doctor or a teacher who is offering his or her services. So the different pricing objectives make this entire task of pricing more comprehensive and complex at times, depending upon the type of product, and there are different other factors which affect the pricing objective also. But yes, for different pricing objectives we have different pricing methods. So the question comes, what are the factors that influence pricing decisions? So we can classify them into two segments. One is the internal factor, another is external factors. When we talk about the external factors, they are basically uncontrollable factors. For instance, demand in the market. We don't have any control over that. We can't control the demand. Demand is something which is coming from the market at a given price. Competition we can't eliminate, as I told you. With the competition, you have to actually be competitive and you have to bear with the competition. Suppliers, their policy we can't change. Economic conditions of an economy, buyers and the government policy, these are the certain factors which are beyond our control. These are called uncontrollable factors and we have to somehow bear with them. So these are the given environment in which we have to operate. Now the question comes, while operating, so there are certain internal factors also with which we can manage somehow. For instance, organizational factors, they belong to our internal policies, they belong to our internal company's operations. So depending upon our own external challenges, we can exercise some control over these organizational factors. Marketing mix, we can decide our product, we can decide our the quality of product when it comes to taking a pricing decision. So accordingly, if I have decided that yes, I cannot charge more than this, then accordingly I would be designing the quality of the product. Accordingly, I will spend on promotional activities. Accordingly, I would select for channels of distribution. So my entire marketing mix, starting from product to place, promotion, packaging, everything would be dependent upon the pricing decision. So marketing mix is under our control, so we can plan and design and craft our price accordingly. Product differentiation is something which on which we have our own control. So we can differentiate our products when we are charging higher prices. from the customers. So, depending upon the type of and quality of the product, prices can be differentiated, and there can be a logical answer justification also to be given for this kind of changes. Cost of the product is, of course, it is one of the most important internal factor on which most of the marketers nowadays they are working how to minimize the cost without compromising with the quality. And the last one is objective of the firm, that also plays a very significant role, and it actually determines the pricing decision of a company. So, apart from the objectives of the firm, there are certain other factors also which influence the pricing decision of a marketer. So, when you look at the pricing decision of a marketer, it is basically an outcome of different factors ranging from internal to external, and depending upon that, a marketer is coming up with the decision that yes, this would be my pricing decision, this is the way I am going to position myself in the market. So, the pricing decision is basically a most comprehensive and complex decision which marketer has to take, because it is something which determines the fate of your organization in terms of its survival, in terms of its profitability. So, what are the different other factors that I will tell you, and the first and the foremost is the company's objective. So, even though all company methods and objectives may ultimately be oriented towards making profit, but firms implement a profit orientation specifically by focusing on target profit pricing. So, nowadays companies are having their own target profit, and accordingly they are designing their pricing method, and they look at the company's objective, and the company's objectives are designed in such a way that they should not forget the target profit pricing. The second comes the profit orientation. Firms are nowadays implementing target profit pricing when they have a particular profit goal as a major concern. As I told you that if you have that profit orientation, profit concern, then of course that target would be decided, and according to that target you would go for deciding your price. As I told you previously that you can have a different target. You are having an objective of having maximum market shares. So, your orientation is towards sales. So, the firm which is using sales orientation to set prices, they actually have this kind of notion in their mind that increasing sales will help the firm more than increasing profits, because if your market share is on the higher side, then of course your profit will also increase in the same proportion. So, that would help you more than increasing profits only. So, you should have per unit profit may be less, but in totality the total profit would be on the higher side. Then comes competitors orientation. Nowadays marketers always conduct a survey about their competitors. They actually strategize according to what competitors are doing. Without knowing what my competitors are doing, I cannot take my decision in isolation. So, they actually measure themselves primarily against their competitors. It is just like testing the water, that the market in which I am going to offer my products, the firms must understand that what my competitors are doing. So, they focus on competitive parity, which means that they are setting prices which are identical to those of their major competitors, so that when customer is going to buy your product, there is no challenge, there is no resistance by the customer on account of this very fact that competitors are offering the same quality at a lower price, or the higher quality at the same price. So, that knowing about competitor orientation is another important factor which must be kept in mind by a marketer when they are setting their prices. And after understanding what is the orientation of the competitor, the orientation of your company as an as a unit wherein you decide your objective, you decide your sales orientation, you decide your competitors orientation, you must understand what is the orientation of my target customer. Because we started our journey from the marketing concept where we talked about keeping the customer's need as a focus point, that yes, whatever we will be doing will focus, our focus will not change, deviate from the customer's need. So, that customer orientation becomes very important, and actually it invokes the concept of value. Sometimes a firm may attempt to increase value by focusing on customer satisfaction, and they may set the prices to match customer expectations. Sometimes they feel that yes, my customers are only willing to pay this much of price, so accordingly they are deciding the price of a product. So when the firm has developed their company objective, they actually turn to understanding what my consumers' reactions are, going to be when it comes to the price of our product. So to different prices, what are the different types of reactions my customers are going to give? That should also be kept in mind while deciding the pricing strategy. And of course, when we talk about all these things, I told you about the demand status of demand, price elasticity of demand in the market. That also plays a very significant role. When I say price elasticity, it actually refers to percentage change in quantity demanded in proportion to, in response to percentage change in price. So suppose if you are increasing your price by 5%, how much decline in sales you are going to witness? So there are certain instances where the minor change in minor increment in the price doesn't affect the demand much. So accordingly you decide your price. So price elasticity also comes as a tool in the hands of a marketer, although there are certain exceptions to this theory of for certain products where this theory of elasticity doesn't work. But yes, of course, for different types of product there are certain categories where it works very well. So keeping all these things in mind, a marketer is going to decide what my pricing strategy should be. So having used this word strategy, I am indicating towards a situation of a war room, wherein you cannot, it is deciding the price of your product is the most difficult task which a marketer is going to perform. So there are different strategies, whether to go for cost based or to go for value based or to go for competition based. What to do? If I go for cost based and my costs are higher than what my competitors are incurring, then of course there would be a question of my survival as a company. If I go for value based pricing and somehow I am not keeping in mind the competition, the state of competition in the market, I may be lagging far behind from what my customers are expecting. So we have to, while strategizing, we have to keep or combine all these components in our mind. There are different methods. First is the cost based method, which is the most traditional method of deciding the price, that you are simply calculating your cost, adding margin to your cost and saying that yes, this is going to be the price. Competitor based pricing, I told you that you are going to adopt the same price what your competitors are charging. But when it comes to value based pricing, they include approaches of setting prices which focus on overall value of a product, which is being perceived by the consumers that yes, for this set of value, this should be the price. Now depending upon these strategies and factors which affect our pricing decision, different pricing methods, they emerge in front of us. So you must be thinking that why these different pricing methods are being used by marketers, even for the same product at the at different timings, they are using different methods of pricing. The reason is very simple, because this decision is going to be a very complex one. It is an outcome of a very complex, comprehensive you can say an analysis by a marketer while deciding their price, finally coming to the price. So sometimes marketers are going for premium pricing, so they are using a higher price, but of course for that they are offering a good product or services. Penetration pricing, they are offering low price to gain higher market share depending upon their objective. And economy pricing, placed at no frills, low price, so you are charging a lower price just to ensure that your marketers are, your customers are feeling good that yes, this is going to be the real price which I am going to pay. So if I talk about the different methods of pricing, psychological pricing is there, that prices are set at odd amounts, say for instance 19 rupees and 95 paise. So that is a pricing popular pricing method which is being used by marketers when they work on this psychological pricing method. Customary pricing, the rate and market condition, of course whatever market wants, accordingly the price is being decided and everything else is being aligned with that price. Skimming the cream policy, you want that your product is comparatively new, so at the level of introduction you are charging higher prices at the initial stage and later on you can resort to any other policy. It can be penetration pricing also. When we talk about penetration pricing, low price is designed in the initial stage because you want to capture higher market share. geographical pricing. If you are using or selling your products in different locations, then of course due to distance your prices may vary. Sometimes we have to use administered pricing based on the managerial decision, whatever decision you have taken. For certain types of product where you have to offer that particular product to government also. So for government and to open market, there are different pricing strategies, which is being known as dual pricing strategy. Negotiated pricing, of course, is another way of selling the product to the customers, and here the specification design is done by the buyer. And competitive bidding, of course, we all know that government calls for competitive bids when they are buying, and you as a bidder, you have to provide or offer the lowest possible price. So my dear learners, in this way I tried to tell you what are the different exercises being done by the marketer while deciding the price of their product. We also discussed about the different factors that affect pricing along with the different methods of pricing. I hope you must have understood the different nuances of pricing strategies being adopted by a marketer from this very lecture of mine. Thank you so much.